I want to thank my colleagues from the council for being with us today as well. One of the real, I think, maybe unintended positives of being a city government that operates in Tornado Alley, where we have ice storms and floods, is that our continuity of operation plans at the City of Tulsa are very strong and up to date. We recognize that the nature of this threat is different than your normal natural disaster, but the continuity of operations is very similar. We spent much of this week testing out those continuity of operation plans, specifically relative to this kind of threat, because we want to stay ahead of it. We want to be prepared for the worst and hope for the best. And we want to be abundantly cautious because we recognize that the citizens of Tulsa rely on the city government for the most basic and critical functions, public safety and utilities. So, again, we spent much of this week. You're going to hear in a moment from our public safety leadership at the City of Tulsa about the work that they're doing around continuity of operations. But I also want to assure folks that we've been doing that on our water and our sewer and our trash system as well, to make sure that we have the systems in place that allow those services to continue uninterrupted throughout any event that may occur in Tulsa. We've also tested out our remote work capabilities so that our customer care center, our utility billing operation, and a number of other key back office functions at the City of Tulsa have the ability to continue uninterrupted moving forward. We're cognizant of the fact that this event has the ability to potentially have a significant budgetary impact on the city government as we see a reduction in tourism and regional travel here to Tulsa. Again, out of an abundance of caution and because of that, yesterday I implemented both a hiring and employee travel freeze at the City of Tulsa. That the hiring freeze does not apply to the Tulsa Police Department or the Tulsa Fire Department's academies. We will continue to hire new police officers and firefighters to increase the manpower that we need to get to. But all other jobs, if any department feels like they need to be filled, they will have to work with me to justify each one of them. Again, we're not seeing any significant budgetary impact yet, but we'd much rather be cautious on the front end than try to catch up with it on the back end. Also getting a lot of questions about public events and what's being done around that. I will say that we're seeing a lot of the owners of those events and the operators of those events choose to reschedule them themselves. We're seeing that at the Convention Center and at the BOK Center. But as far as overall large events, what I would ask for all of us to do is to please trust the public health experts on this. I think it's important for people in Tulsa to understand the Tulsa Health Department is an independent organization. It's a city-county department. It is not beholden to any other level of government. It is independent and local, and with an appointed board that governs it and independent staff. And I've made very clear to that staff of doctors and public health professionals that I want them to know that they have the freedom to provide us whatever advice they think we need to do to keep the citizens of Tulsa safe, and I will have their back 100% on whatever their public health determination is. At this point, based on CDC guidance and the fact that there is no evidence of community spread in Tulsa, our public events and public gatherings continue as normal. Should there be a single instance of proven community spread in this community, I will work with the Tulsa Health Department and my colleagues at Tulsa County to address that very aggressively. But for the time being and for right now, there is no evidence of community spread, and we're going to continue to follow the guidance of our public health professionals in that regard. I do want to say on a personal note, as the mayor of Tulsa, I'm so thankful that our fellow Tulsan, one of our two fellow Tulsans who had contracted this virus has fully recovered. That's wonderful news. I can't imagine what it's been like for he and his family to go through this. And I hope they know that our whole city has been pulling for them, and we're so thankful that he has recovered. And our hearts and our thoughts are with our other fellow Tulsan as she too recovers from this virus. I will use every opportunity I have to remind people to wash your hands with soap and water. That seems like such a simple thing to do, and yet it has been told to me over and over and over again by public health experts that that is one of the most effective things that we can do to contain the spread of this virus. So please continue throughout the day to wash your hands with soap and water. If you are feeling sick, stay home. Do not go to work. And if we can do that and continue to practice good, strong public hygiene practices, we can contain and slow the spread of this virus in our state and our country. Now I'd like to, and before I introduce her, I want to say how grateful I am for the line of communication that we've established locally with our colleagues at Tulsa County. I can tell you that the Tulsa Police Department, Tulsa County Sheriff's Office have been working hand in hand from a public safety standpoint on this. My colleagues at the Board of County Commissioners and I have been working hand in hand with the Tulsa Health Department on this response. You have a seamless working of local government in place right now. The differentiation between city and county at this moment in our community, I find non-existent. We're all just working together to keep our community as safe as it can be.